I think most people are probably familiar with the live event itself. It's a 3.5 hour event where we celebrate being Hawaiian, the stories that not only Hawaiians tell but that make us Hawaiian through this art of mele. Almost 2,000 students from the high school that come in, thousands of their family members, kind of all jammed into this arena. It has gone from this intimate celebration of mele on the grounds of Kaivi'ula, what is today known as Bishop Museum, and grown into this huge, iconic cultural event, not only for the Kamehameha Ohana, but for all of Hawaii. We're celebrating the 100th annual observance with a theme like Imau Ke Aloha Aina, so that Aloha Aina continues on, perseveres. The marquee element of that was that all of the songs this year were created by student cohorts.
This year's song contest was going to be way different because instead of singing songs from the past, we were trying to look at our time and see what's happening now and incorporate them into songs for people in the future to sing, look back and see what happened in this time.
It wasn't as though it was only freshmen that created the freshman mele. It was actually cohorts that were comprised of students across the different classes. And so what that did was it offered this opportunity to rise above the level of a contest, right? We call it song contest, it's a competition. And there was still that element built into it. But when you start to introduce this kind of cross-class effort in creation, for the sake of creation, not for the sake of contest and competition, I think that marks something really, really special.
It's super exciting, okay? But it takes time. For now, there's so much to put together. We're gonna start at the chorus. Pick anyone, they're all the same.
So when you're a week out from song contest and you see all of the blood, sweat, and tears and aloha that's gone into an event of this magnitude, celebrating such a milestone, bringing people from literally all over the world, 1 week out, the entire world gets a gut check.
Kamehameha Schools says it will suspend its annual song contest amid the ongoing concerns. The event was scheduled for next Friday at the Blaisdell Arena. Word went out to students and parents this afternoon. This would have been the 100th anniversary of the song contest.
I can distinctly remember the moment that song contest was canceled. It was really disappointing that our senior year was different from others in the past.
Everybody in the world went through a similar process where it's like, what do you mean you're taking this away from me? What do you mean I don't have a what do you mean? But in all of this loss, we realize that these are all spaces for something new, for something to be learned. And in this case, maybe we are being reminded the lights, the arena, the dress whites, all of these amazing things that have been happening for a century. Yes, they are awesome. Yes, they are important. But if we had to strip it down, what do we have left? We had a few singers sing their song to the director directing, and these are what we call seed videos. If I'm the student, I'm gonna receive this seed video, I'm gonna set up my computer, and I'm gonna put on my uniform, and I'm gonna put on my green lei, and I'm gonna sing to these seed videos while I record myself.
It's so different that there's not your classmates around you singing with you, or just like people directing you and making sure you're on time, on pitch. It's just yourself, you're just by yourself. And that made the energy entirely different. It really took me a whole day for me to actually get it nailed down.
There were points that I asked myself, is this going to work? Are students going to show up? Is the song going to be given its due justice, right? And it resulted in all of these submissions of a lot of members of the class of 2020 voluntarily going through this process to add their voice to this collective expression that, is so multi-layered already. For those people who know, like, sync is an issue, how do you get everybody to sing exactly together?
When we started to look at the complexity of how many potential singers there would be, we knew that this would be a very difficult process. The singers are students, there are several hundred of them, and so when Zach brought the project in, we had an idea of how we would do it, but we weren't really certain as to how all the pieces would come together. We pretty much had to manually go through every single file one by one and manually sync to a reference track so that we would have audio and video sync all the way through the project.
I marked it. I think I did.
And that took several days by several editors. And through that process, a lot of it was just learning as we went. And so the video half is only one piece of the puzzle. And we thought we had it bad with these hundreds of layers of video trying to make sense of it.
I'm really just thinking to this one point.
You're thinking to your one, yeah.
And then we got to go and see what Mike Grande was doing in his studio as he was mastering all of the audio.
In that space, you can hear a boy singing.
And I have to say that was when I realized his job is much, much, much harder than ours. He's going through each track, line by line, syllable by syllable in some cases. It's just an amazing thing what Zach and Mike were able to do as we built this project in tandem. Most of us who worked on this project are KS alum. As the years tick on, you really take on Song Contest with this warmth in your heart. And if there was an opportunity for us to save some part of that and participate in a new way of how Song Contest could persist in this COVID era, we really wanted to try and do it based on that feeling that we still remember from all those years ago when we were in our dress whites and we were there with that kind of camaraderie with our class.
While we're not having that same song contest experience together on the stage at night, this experience of us meeting each other for that last send-off together is much more powerful than it would be in any other way.
When you're gonna look at this video of these young Hawaiians singing, yes, you'll hear the choral arrangement that was arranged for them. You'll hear the song that many of them took part in actually composing. You'll hear their effort, especially for those who may feel like, oh, I don't know if I can do this, but I'm gonna try my best. You're gonna feel that. I think what you're gonna see are young Hawaiians who we hope to position as leaders of tomorrow, who can demonstrate as a collective that they're invested in the messages that will shape their future. It's about how are we positioning these Hawaiians to be people that will take this lesson and stretch it out over their lifetime.